Hello friends, Namaste. This session is about the impacts of tourism. The learning outcome of this session is to understand the positive and negative impacts of tourism. In tourism, it is broadly classified into three categories. One is the environmental impacts, the second one is the socio-cultural impact, and the third is the economic impact. And soon we will hear about the technological impact of tourism as well. The kind of marketing, that is the contemporary marketing, which is being done through social media, that is through blogs and vlogs, and then posting of pictures through Instagram, Facebook, storytelling, triggers, amusement, reaction, which is the star model of marketing, has immensely contributed towards the growth and development of tourism. And there are other impacts as well, like when we talk about the psychological impact through the technology and the way it make the other user, that is the viewer, when they see a vlog, the urge to visit the place, or a kind of feeling, inferiority feeling, which a person has when he sees the photo and videos of a person visiting to the other place. So these are the positive and negative technological impact on tourism. Now, when we talk about environmental impact, what does this word means to you? When we say environmental impact, it's all connected with our surrounding, that is the nature, how it has been polluted or how it has been protected by tourism industry. Just to give an example, let's say if I tell you to imagine that if we plan to visit to an island, that is say Andaman and Nicobar, and I tell you to plan for what kind of mode of transportation we will use to visit Andaman and Nicobar. Now, as it is an island, there would be possibility of only two transportation. One is through seaways and the other one is airways. Now, a conscious traveler who knows the impact of these modes of transportation will selectively choose for sea transportation, because sea transportation's impact on the environment is very, very minimum if we compare to the air transportation medium. I would like to tell you the data which has been provided by ourworldindata.com.org. They have given their studies which they have done on the carbon footprint of travel per kilometer in 2018. In this research work, the statistics they have mentioned here is about the carbon footprint of travel, which is measured in grams of carbon dioxide equivalents per passenger kilometer. This includes carbon dioxide but also other greenhouse gases and increased warming from aviation emissions at altitude. So one thing to note here is airways has destroyed to a large extent the air because of the amount of carbon dioxide which has been infused by using flights. So according to this data, it has been said a domestic flight contributes 255 gram per passenger per kilometer, whereas a ferry through seaways, that is the seaways medium, contribute only 19 gram, which is, there's a huge difference, extremes contribution. So we need to understand that which is the right mode we need to use so that we can contribute towards the betterment of the environment and curb the destruction of the environment. Similarly, they have mentioned the contribution of medium car, which is a petrol car, that is the carbon footprint of this petrol car is 192 gram of per kilometer travel, whereas medium car using diesel, the amount it contributes, that is the carbon footprint, is 171 gram. So roadways is also not the right kind of medium until unless one uses a public transportation as their modes of travel. Why I highlighted about this carbon footprint element? Because transportation has impacted to a large extent in positive way as well as negative way in the environment. Because of its negative contribution in the environment, many transportation service providers have started taking initiative of plantation and asking the passengers to contribute towards the plantation in various areas where they can afford to do that. In this particular point, you can see that environmental impacts affect the carrying capacity of the area. This I have already spoken in one of my session, the carrying capacity of the place. Carrying capacity means based on the square feet area of a destination of a place, what is its capacity to hold number of travelers. Calculation of this carrying capacity is very important in fragile areas like a place which is located near to water body, coral areas, beaches, wildlife, hill stations, because if there is a mass influx of tourists, the kind of waste they generate and the amount of carbon footprint which is added there eventually destroys the place, disturbs the ecology. So that is the reason the carrying capacity of the area is very important, and the bodies who are responsible for the maintenance of the place and the infrastructure needs to check this carrying capacity and have a control on the movement of tourists at that particular place. Next, we will talk about, in this environmental impact, I just wanted to give an example of Dal Lake in Srinagar, which most of us would have heard that down the lane 20 years ago, it was highly polluted by the tourist travel movements, that it has lost its beauty. Again, in this past 20 years, where the mass movement of tourists has been curbed due to the insecurity, instability in the place, the government has taken initiative to clean the lake and look for its restoration. And the lake has got its original beauty back. This is just to give an example, the environmental impact. Also, the impact I would like to tell here is this is the negative impact, how the Great Barrier Reef was impacted because of mass tourism. And then the bodies who are responsible there at the place started controlling the movement of tourists and their activities and working on its restoration. The next impact, that is the socio-cultural impact, by the word itself, how it impacts to the society and the culture of the host community and the tourist. So it is based on the interactions between the tourist and the host community. And it all depends upon the cultural background, the attitudes and behaviors and relationships to the goods and services provided by the host community and received by the tourists. Why this has to be spoken about is the exchange, the movement of tourists to the place has either added positive impact and negative impact in some places. Just to cite, international tourists, when they go to a rural place, the villagers understand their culture. They try to learn foreign language to communicate with them so that it adds to their livelihood. They try to imbibe good habits of, say, for example, maybe just to quote here is Rajasthan, the tribes residing in Rajasthan started inculcating the habit of hygiene, sanitization by observing the international tourists. On the other hand, the international tourists learn the food, the culture of receiving guests amicably, understanding the Indian tradition of arti, tika, garlanding. So this was an exchange which happened. And at many places this has been observed in Africa, in developing countries. And even in developed countries, they learn from the tourist who comes from other countries. So the food items which are being provided in many developed countries has seen a tremendous change. So this is all about the socio-cultural impact. I will talk about this in detail in the next slide. Economic impact. Economic impact, as already spoken in the initial sessions, that tourism adds value in the economy through the opportunity of employment, generation of employment to the local community, as well as from the foreign exchange earnings which they get, from the tax revenues they get from tourists and the stakeholders, which adds to the infrastructure development, to the GDP, to the livelihood of citizens residing in the place and the stakeholders. So we will discuss about economic impact here. I would like you guys to think about that if you're visiting Andaman and Nicobar, to what extent you will be expending to visit in that particular place. So as a tourist, you will have expenses of transportation. So just I gave the example that either as a conscious traveler, we may choose sea as a medium of travel. So we will spend for the sea, the cruise or the ships which are available for the transportation. Then we will be requiring the accommodation, so we will contribute towards for the stay in that particular place. We may buy some souvenirs, we will do some shoppings, and then we will have purchase of other essential items, use of public transportations there, then consumptions of food and beverages available there. All this expenditure from the tourist will add revenue to the service providers and to the tourism body as well as the state government at that particular place. Eventually it will lead to the jobs creation, to the lifestyle. In fact, when we talk about the negative impact, it may add to the cost of living at that particular place if it is more in demand. So this is about the economic impact. Here we can see that it increases the employment, that is the additional of jobs. So many things which I have discussed, not only at the destination, that not only at Port Blair or other places in Andaman and Nicobar, it will have job opportunities to the people who are involved in transportation activity, to the porters, to the guides, to the museum maintenance people, the supporting staffs, technical staff, and then eventually it will add to their standards of living. It will raise their standards of living. When we talk about infrastructure development, definitely it adds to the development of infrastructure of places which are located at pristine tourist areas. Just to give example, so a tourist place which has been identified recently, a rural place in Karnataka. Because of the influx of tourists wanted to go and visit that unexplored place, the government have initiated with the road transportation, some stay arrangements, some kind of food and beverage facilities at that place, and provision of public utilities. So this is eventually have added to the development of infrastructure at that place. Transportation infrastructure is a required element. So whenever we talk about development of other infrastructure, the first requirement to develop the place is provision of accessibility. So the road construction, public transportation facilities, and other non-traditional transportation, like if we talk about in wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, so the creating of eco trails is required. So positive and negative impact, when we put together, it looks like of economic impact. As already stated, economic impact contributes to the income and standard of living of the host people residing at that destination. It improves the local economy by the expenditure of tourists. It increases the employment opportunities. So the kind of product which is being provided at the place increases the employment opportunities to the host community as well as to other communities at the periphery of the place, and in fact to far off places as well. So just to give example, a tour operator or a travel agent located at other state will deploy staff to cater to the needs of the tourists. It improves investments and development. Here we are talking about private players start pitching in and invest in the development of the place. They adopt the place. Just to give example, the Bannerghatta National Park in near Bangalore has the private players, that is called as public-private partnership model, where Infosys, cricket players, and big celebrities have adopted the animals there and contributed towards the infrastructure development of that national park. So this is how the development happens. It increases the tax revenue. So from the taxes which are being given by the host community, once they start earning, and even the stakeholders who are providing services, as well as the tourists for the custom duty and other kinds of taxes, it increases the treasure of tax revenues in that particular state. I have already stated about the development of public utility infrastructure, so toilet infrastructure, the road transportation, all these things are linked together whenever any kind of tourist place is being in demand and then gets the development boost. Increases the opportunities for shopping, so that is linked together. When a tourist moves to a place for his leisure, business, pilgrimage, or entertainment, adventure activity, he requires shops to do the shopping for his daily needs or for the purpose of his travel. Say for example, a tourist goes to a religious place, Mecca, Medina, and there he would be requiring some religious stuff to offer his prayer at that place. So that involves local bodies to provide those facilities to the tourists. Economic impact, as we have already tried to understand here, through these expenditures of the tourist and the addition of tax revenues, The economic impact could be direct, could be indirect, and could be induced. So, induced spending, that is through other formats of, say, insurance, or asking for a potter services, or looking for ATM activities at that place. It's all under the positive economic impact of tourism. It also creates new business opportunities. So, based on the kind of tourism product which is being offered at a place, the it creates avenues for other business opportunities. Just now I said, say for example, if it is a religious place known for religious tourism activities, the other business opportunities could be provision of meditation services, spiritual services, or some kind of uh, educational services to understand the culture of that particular place, to know about the temple or that heritage for which it is famous for. The negative impact of economic activity in tourism is increases price of goods and services. So as we talk about the concept of economy, demand and supply, so when the demand is more at a place, definitely based on the supply and the relationship of price elasticity, the prices of goods and services increases, because the people residing at the place gets a good standard of living, income, so that they can buy the product at the amount which is being asked by the suppliers. So the price of goods and services increases. All these things leads to the increased cost of living. So these are all interlinked phenomenon. Increases price of land and housing. This happens when the investment opportunities at the places increases, so the demand increases, so definitely the price of land and housing increases. The cost, it increases the potential for imported layers. So now when people starts developing the place, spend for the infrastructure, and if there is a requirement of development at a short period of time, or they require skilled manpower to develop the place based on the demand of the tourists. Just to give an example, an amusement park at a place where a skilled staff is required, who knows how to use the technology or how to operate those rides. So they would look for labors which are not the localite one, outside from the region, who are good at handling the amusement park. So this increases the potential for imported labors. Cost for additional infrastructure. Cost for additional infrastructure is like the water, sewage, power, fuel, medical, all these basic utilities which is in demand. Definitely, to render those demands, its cost will increase. So as we have spoken here, it improves public utility infrastructure. So it adds to the cost. Increases road maintenance and transportation system cost. Eventually, all these things are linked. Public utility infrastructure will lead to road maintenance. If there is more influx of tourists to a place, the road maintenance would be high, the toll charges will be more, and the transportation suppliers would demand more for the rate to that particular place. One important negative impact which is required to be highlighted is the seasonal tourism, which creates high risk of under or unemployment issues. This I wanted to elaborate more here is seasonal tourism characteristic. Most of the tourism products are seasonal in nature. That means that tourist demand for a particular tourism product is on specific seasons, especially for nature-based attraction. So if a nature-based attraction is located at a snow-clad area, and people want to visit those place just to see snow, so they would try to visit those places during summertime or during winter time based on their availability, but most of the time it would be highly visited during the winter time to see the snow. And there are places which is known for their monsoon, so people would like to visit those places only in monsoon. So to give example, in Assam, family tourists mostly would like to prefer tourist places to go during their vacation time when their kids have holidays. So this are some fluctuations which happens in tourism product. It is demanded at a high rate during some season time, and it has some off season time as well. So during off season, off peak time, the negative impact it creates unemployment issues for the tourism service providers, that is for the guides, for the transportation people residing in the place, the hotel arrangements, stay arrangements being done by the local people. They face an unemployment issues during off season time. Competition for land with other at a higher value and economic issues. So it is obvious when the cost of the land increases, the competition for land of the place also increases. So this is a major negative impact. Profits may be exported by non-local owner. Here I would like to talk about the economy leakage which happens. That is, if the services which is being provided at the place is of a person who is not of that area, or if it is of, say for example, a stay arrangement being taken care by Taj Group of Hotel or Marriott Group of Hotel, the revenue which is earned will go to the Taj property, and only handful of local people will get the benefit out of it. So there would be economy leakage issues if the services are not provided by the local people at the place, not owned by the local people, which has to be considered by the tourism bodies controlling the place and managing the place. Jobs may pay low wages. So this is one critical factor, the negative impact of economical impact in tourism industry. As the tourist demand of a particular place increases, there would be people who would be willing to offer their services at low prices and low wages. So this gives an opportunity to the owners of that service to exploit people and pay them low salaries. Hope you would have liked the session. Thank you.